to the next talk that is by myself. Uh, in fact, I generally don't take up uh, uh, talks. I don't join the panel. Uh, but today I have decided to join the panel because I was trying to give uh, this topic to some other speakers, but I thought it is better for me to take it up myself because I have been a participant in this culture, uh, participant in the culture of these the Padya Natakams. I myself was an actor, a player, a singer in these plays. So it is very close to my heart from that perspective. So I thought I should take this up myself. What is interesting about these uh, Padya Natakams is that they are classical music plays being performed by masses. They usually there is an impression people like PM Krishna have spread it among people that classical music has been confined only to certain varnas or jatis like Brahmins and such jatis have monopolized Carnatic music, classical music, and he projects himself as a champion of taking Carnatic music to masses and lower classes and slums and all these and all that. But such people, such detractors, they do not know that classical Carnatic music has been there among masters in several different ways. One is instrumental music has always been with the non-Brahmin communities only. But the other areas like bhajan singing, the yoga song singing, mystic yoga song singing, which is in Telugu areas, it is called Tatwan songs. In Haryana, it is called Ragini songs. In Karnataka, they are called Tattvapadagalu. These are all yoga songs. And those who sing these songs also, they are all non-Brahmin communities, masses, Dalit areas, slum areas, deep into the forest areas. These people sing it in the classical music style. And one of such contexts in which masses of the so-called lower classes also are into Carnatic music is these Carnatic music plays. These are dramas which are in Carnatic music. And these plays have come into uh, existence from, in fact, modern time. They actually are not in, uh, they are not coming from ancient times. They are not traditional plays. They are plays which have come into existence only during modern period. So these uh, are actually modern natakams. These are modern natakams, and these are different from Yakshaganams. People might know that there are Yakshaganams in Karnataka and all over the country. Karnataka is known for its Yakshagana plays and the costume of the Yakshaganas and all that is so popular. But these Yakshaganams are there in the Telugu speaking areas also. But in the Telugu speaking areas, Yakshaganams have been in existence for the last several centuries, if not for at least a millennium, at least for 1,000 years. But these Padinatakams are a modern development. Uh, they are verse plays. They are different from Sanskrit theatre also. In Kerala, there is a Sanskrit theatre. In Tamil Nadu, Sanskrit theatre is very popular. Particularly, Bhasa's plays are performed as Sanskrit theatre both in Kerala and Tamil Nadu and many other parts of India, like in Benares also. Sanskrit theatre is very popular, but these are not Sanskrit theatre. These are actually in the modern times, during British times, all of a sudden the stage has changed from the traditional stage into proscenium theatre, the fourth wall, what they call fourth wall theatre, where there are three walls enclosed and the stage is on the fourth wall side, and an elevated stage and the audience sitting at a lower level than the elevated stage. From that proscenium theatre adaptations, one Farsi theatre was developing in Bombay, in Mumbai. From Bombay, it spread to the parts of Karnataka. For areas like Dharwad was developing such music-based theatre, music-based theatre which was actually performing Itihasa Purana stories that was happening in Dharwad. And these Dharwad companies and the Farsi theatre companies are said to have influenced the Telugu plays. And at the same time, something else was also happening. Sanskrit and Shakespearean English plays were getting translated into Telugu because Shakespearean plays also have verse and prose combination. The Telugu translators were also translating them into classical Telugu language and classical Telugu verses. All the 19th century Telugu authors, modern Telugu authors, they were translating Shakespearean plays into Telugu. Veerashalingam Pantulu and Tirupati Venkata Kavululu and Vasudasu and many other such early modern writers in Telugu. They were translating Shakespearean English plays into Telugu into padyam plays, verse plays, replacing Shakespearean English verse poetry, metrical poetry into Telugu verse poetry. And at the same time, they were also translating Sanskrit plays of Kalidasa like Abhigyana Shakuntalamu and Mutchakatikamu and Mudra Rakshasamu, Veni Samharam. All those plays were getting translated into Telugu. They were also Padya Natakams. They were also in the form of verse plays only. But the difference of these Padya Natakams is these are stage plays, whereas the Shakespearean Telugu translations or Sanskrit plays Telugu translations were all meant only to get printed and to get read. They are readable plays, not performable plays. Whereas these Padyanatakams are stage plays. They were written to be performed, and many centers like Bellary, which is today in Karnataka, but it was at that time more part of Madras Composite States, but a rich Telugu area. uh, Scholars like Kolachalam Srinivas Rao Garu and Dharmavaram Ramakrishna Machal Garu, they were developing these Padyanatakams in Bellary, in their own auditoriums, in their own troops. Similarly, Rajamandri, part of the Godavari area of Andhra Pradesh, was also developing these Padyanatakams. And a huge movement of stage plays was happening at that time. It was all performable. These were not limited to uh, be printed and seen as printed versions only. These were and readable versions only. They were in fact in the form of uh, stage plays to be performed on the stage. The beauty of these plays is that they were classical in nature, but they were into masses. Performers, the harmonium player, he is called a master, and the organizers, the set designers, the light designers, the microphone arranging people. Uh, the Actually, it is a commercial theater. They were selling tickets. These plays were shown for payment only. So it was a business. So the commercial investors in this business all were villagers. They were hailing from slum areas. They were hailing from Dalit streets. They were hailing from agricultural communities. They were hailing from artisan communities. The entire village made of all these communities used to come together to get into these performances. And these participants, these singers, Or, for example, sometimes pastoral people, shepherds and cowherds and all that, they take their buffaloes or cows or goat or sheep for grazing into the hills, and while grazing also under a tree, they keep singing these songs. These are not songs, these are padyams, these are verses sung to Carnatic music ragas. So the play is written in a Sanskrit play format. There is Nandi, there is Prastavana, there is Vishkambha, there is Praveshaka, there is Bharatavakya, everything written in a Sanskrit play format, but performed by masses, performed by the lower classes, performed by the uneducated people, performed by the so called illiterate people. These are written in classical Telugu. What is interesting is, at a time when under modernity influence, classical language movements of spoken language were emerging. Movements against classical language were emerging, written in a classical metrical verse at a time when modern lyrical form poetry, free verse poetry was all developing. Free verse poetry, lyrical poetry was all becoming very fashionable at that time. At that stage, this kind of classical metrical verse poetry was emerging. And these, the prevalence of these among the masses is countering in three ways. They counter colloquial movement arguments that the movement was for masses, but the masses actually, colloquial language, they were not preferring colloquial language. They were preferring classical language for writing purposes, for all formal purposes. Masses were actually liking the classical language is very evident and very clear from the popularity of this classical music, classical verse plays that were happening. And Padya Natakams even today are performed by masses, villagers, by lower classes. They counter arguments of classical Indian music not prevalent among masses. The Mahabharata plays, they are not the only theme of these Padya If you see Padya Natakams, verse plays, classical music theatre, they are misunderstood and ridiculed as no acting like in modern plays. All these modern play movement people, modern social theatre movement people, they ridicule Padya Natakams and they say, oh, this is not a play at all. This is not a drama at all because there is no acting in it. This is not like a movie. What happens in a movie is not happening here. So they are not to be respected and all that. But actually, they are classical Carnatic music plays. What is being demonstrated by the performer is his classical music skills. What is being appreciated by the audience also is the classical Carnatic music knowledge and the performing skill of the actor in the play. So, without understanding that aspect, they keep ridiculing them, saying, oh, there is no acting. You are not doing any acting at all. You are just singing, singing, singing. How can singing be a theater? Our modern plays have no singing at all. Let me share a fact. These so-called modern social plays, they were not successful with the masses. They were not popular. They were not getting traction with great audience at all. They were not getting audience at all. Uh, even these plays were getting huge crowds, thousands of audience, in spite of being paid theater. You have tickets. In spite of that, they were getting audience, whereas the social plays, modern social plays, without having music at all, having great acting skills and all that, were not so popular because they were not getting audience, even in spite of being not paid theater. There are no tickets. These are free of cost. You can enter the auditorium just like that, free of cost, but there was no audience for modern plays. So this shows that these Padyanataks are more popular with the masses. They attracted the masses more. Masses were ready to pay tickets for them and they used to go for these. And Mahabharata is not the only theme. There were historical plays, Prataparudra Charitra, Vili Yuddhamu and other things were there. Social reformation plays were also there. Chintamani, Varavikrayamu, Brahma Vivahamu, all such social plays were also there. Interestingly, social plays were in Padyam, metrical verse. This Chintamani among these social plays is uh, attractively popular even today. It is vibrantly popular even today. Chintamani gets performed for tickets all over the Telugu speaking areas. Among the Itihasa Purana plays, there are many other Itihasa Purana plays, Ramayana based different narratives, folk narratives, Mahabharata based different narratives, Bhagavata based different narratives, Ramayana itself, episodes of Ramayana itself, for example, Paduka Pattabhishekam from Ramayana, and many other Itihasas and Puranas are also performed. So, Mahabharata plays that we are talking about are only one specific category of this entire gamut of Padya Natakams that we are talking about. So, the within Mahabharata plays, one play that is very popular is composed by Tirupati Venkata Kavululu. These Tirupati Venkata Kavululu were highly traditional Shastra scholars. They were highly rigorous. They are so erudite. They were performers of Shatavadhanas and Sahasravadhanas, and they were almost intimidating to their own scholarly fraternity itself. But the beauty is, in spite of being so erudite, so intimidatingly scholarly, these two scholarly Telugu authors, they composed these uh, entire Mahabharatam into Padya Natakams. They composed from Pandava Jananam, the birth of Pandavas, up to Pandava Vijayamu, the victory of Pandavas in Mahabharata war. But within that, for some reason, the Udyoga Parva area, Udyoga Parva portion of Mahabharatamu, written by them, became very, very popular among the masses that were performing these Padya Natakams. And the Pandava Vijayamu portion also became very popular, combining the Udyoga Parvamu and the Vijaya Parva, that is the end of the story, victory of Pandavas. They used to call them Udyoga Vijayalu. This is a very popular word in Telugu. Udyoga Vijayalu is very popular. The same Natakam, Udyoga Vijayalu, was performed with alternative titles like Kurukshetramu, Sri Krishna Rayabharamu, uh, and many other names. And the way it was getting performed was like this. What they do is they put up a screen, and the entire, for example, the court in which Dhritarashtra and Gandhari are sitting, it is in the form of a screen only. It is there is no real court or stage settings that are arranged there. But the where the Dhritarashtra and Gandhari sit, they are ordinary chairs. They put up chairs there in front of the screen, and you are able to see the mics arranged, the stand mics are arranged, and the characters, when they want to sing the songs, they come to the front of the mic and sing. And because these people are coming from a village culture where originally mics were not available, they used to sing to the village ambience. They actually use a big voice. Their volume is very high. The amplitude is very high. In a very high amplitude, they sing. And after the microphone culture, the standy mics culture has come also, they sing with such a loudness that the mics sometimes get damaged. They sing to loud singing. They are able to see how he is moving from one mic, one standing mic to the other standing mic, because it's a new culture. They were not used to this earlier, but still the voice is very loud. They go to a loud voice, and they sing in a very loud voice, and they uh, sing in a very rural style, but it is classical music. Every one of these singers, they know the names of the ragas to which they are singing these songs. So meanwhile, uh, while Srinivas Garu will be accessing, you have seen the way it is performed, and all the performers there, all the actors there in the performance, they are uh, some of them are tailors, uh, some of them are shed auto mechanics, some of them are the sweepers in the municipal corporation of Hyderabad. Some of them were firemen. When I was playing as a child actor in these plays, uh, most of the co-actors, co-performers, co-singers in the play were firemen. It was a fire office, and they were all coming and playing in the play. So these, in a city, in a town, they are coming from these modern professions. But if you go to a village, they are agriculturists and they are artisans, and they come from Dalit areas, scheduled caste areas. They are leather workers. Some of them work in burial grounds. All of them come together to perform in these plays. Some of them are even Muslims. Uh, in the days when I was performing, there was one Mira Hussain who was very popular for his portion as Sri Krishna. In these plays, what happens is that because the play is a very long performance, starting at around 9:30 to 10 o'clock in the night and runs up to the 4:30, 5 o'clock in the early morning. Sometimes it goes even beyond up to the morning 6 o'clock or sometimes. So because it's a long performance, one single actor doesn't perform in all the acts of the play. Different actors keep changing. For example, for Shri Krishna, in the first act, it is called Anka in Sanskrit, and in these plays also they use the word Anka only. And the in the first Anka, Sri Krishna will be played by one actor, and in the second Anka, there will be another actor playing Sri Krishna. In the same way, actors keep changing for the same role. The first Duryodhana is different from the second Duryodhana. First Sri Krishna is different from second Sri Krishna, and there will be five different Sri Krishnas. This Mira Hussain was one of the Sri Krishnas, and what happens is the body personality of Sri Krishna also changes in the same play. In the first in the first Anka, or in the first act of the play, the personality of Sri Krishna might be very obese. In the second, it is completely slim. In the third, he may have spectacles. In the fourth, he may not have spectacles, but a completely different personality. But audience do not uh, take it as wrong or absurd or something like that, because they know that they use words like first Sri Krishna, second Sri Krishna, third Sri Krishna, fourth Sri Krishna. మొదటి శ్రీకృష్ణుడు రెండవ శ్రీకృష్ణుడు మూడవ శ్రీకృష్ణుడు like that in Telugu. So it is first Duryodhana, second Duryodhana. They don't mind the actors changing. All that they are looking for is a wonderful melodious performance of these songs. For them, it is all actually a Carnatic music performance. For them, it is basically a music performance that they are looking for. Uh, they Let me try to share my uh, desktop. I think the sound was not coming, but you were able to see that uh, some harmonium was getting played. Can you go to the next slide?
Okay.
Are you able to move to the next slide? Yeah, this is a more sophisticated, refined setup, other more sophisticated than the earlier one. You're able to see that it was very crude, but here there are more improved stage arrangements that these people are making. And go to the next slide, please. These are rehearsals before they actually perform. Uh, this person is called a master. He teaches the singers how to sing, and he's supposed to be having a great command on ragas, and he knows which raga to be played for which padyam. And next slide, please. Here, who is standing in front of the harmonium player is the performer. He is an actor. He is performing, he is actually rehearsing how to sing. And the person who is playing on the harmonium is called master. He is the guru. He is the teacher. He teaches how to sing. And he is, during the performance, he is the harmonium player also. The same master who teaches, the same master who is the guru, also is the harmonium player at the time of the performance. And you are able to see, I think, from the ambience itself, is that these are all rural uh, and normal, not very affluent, elitist or high class ambience that you are able to see here. These are all ordinary people. Can you play the video for some time just so that we can see, though we are not able to hear the sound, we are able to see what is happening, how the performer is learning how to do the hand gestures and singing and all that without a makeup. There is no makeup, but he is rehearsing singing to the harmonium sound. Can you go to the next slide, please? Here, this is a young boy. He is actually a YouTuber. He is showing off his skill of both harmonium playing and singing. You are able to see that he is very young. He is in 2025, he is around 25, and he has a great future. By the time he goes up to his middle age, he is going to be still available to perform these Padya Natakams. And he is actually doing all that YouTube kind of thing. He is reading the comments from the comments who has asked for which Padyam to be performed. He has a slip in his hand, and in that slip he has got the comments printed out. From the comments, he is saying, "Oh, you have asked for this Padyam, so I am not now going to demonstrate this Padyam," and he's going to sing that with a very great arrogance and pride that he's able to sing this song. And you are able to see, see, this is all. If you like the video, like it, and you subscribe, all those messages from YouTube. A typical YouTube thing is happening, and he's giving the subtitles. For lyric is being showed in Telugu script there. He is doing this song, Adigo Dwaraka. Adigo Dwaraka is what he's saying. Adigo Dwaraka, ఆనమందలవిగో నయ్య అందందు గోరాడు నయ్యదియే కోట అదే కర్త. And this song is singing. It is actually a scene where Arjuna is entering uh, Sri Krishna's place in Dwaraka for a negotiation to get a help from Sri Krishna. And he's saying, "Oh, there you go, that is Dwaraka. There you go, that is Dwaraka," is the song. What he's saying, Adigo, is actually, "There you go." portion only. Just that there you go, he's singing with long rendering, and then he is singing. He is doing the same here, this boy. Next slide, please. And he is the same YouTuber. He is showing off his skill in another song. Next slide, please. So that is the amount of popularity these people used to have. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is over. So let us stop sharing. And so I think I gave a feel, though I was not lucky enough to be able to play the sound because of the settings. uh, we are able to see how these Padya Natakams or classical Carnatic music performances, the singers coming from such lower classes and remote corners of villages and forests, they know the ragam names, they sing according to the ragam, and they know the chaya of the ragam. If one Carnatic singer sings a chaya of a ragam, they are easily able to identify the raga chaya and say, oh, you are singing Jimplas, you are singing it in Mohana, you are singing it in Adheri, this is Todi. They are able to name the ragam that the other person is singing. So what these Padyanatakams have done is they not only brought the deeper understanding of Vyasa, the complex dharma samshayas, the complex dharma understanding of Mahabharata to the closer understanding of these masses. They have brought classical language of Telugu close to the masses. They have brought the classical music of the masses close to the classical music, Carnatic music close to the masses, and they have created a seamless bridge between what is classical and what is folk. And they made the so-called folk performers into classical performers, performers of classical verse poetry, classical language, and deeper dharmic understanding that is there in the complexities and intricacies of Mahabharata. These performers, they respond that way. They, for example, why Sri Krishna uh, helps Arjuna indirectly instead of helping Duryodhana. They know, the villagers explain that it is a very complex dharma samshaya, and in a very intricate way Krishna is helping Duryodhana, uh, Arjuna rather than Duryodhana. Why he does that, they explain. And what is done by Sri Krishna in the actual Rayabara scene, the diplomacy scene in the Dhritarashtra's court also, all the villagers explain uh, among themselves or discuss among themselves, performers discuss among themselves. So this dharmic understanding of Mahabharata, inherent in Mahabharata from Vyasa, is also demonstrated uh, and is brought close to the common audience through these plays. So with this, I uh, close my talk. If there are any questions or comments, I would like to respond. Yeah, most of the comments are no sound, uh, and somebody said audio is there. Thanks. And so probably audio is coming sometimes and audio is going sometimes. So I am sorry about the technical glitches, but if there are any other questions, let us take up the questions. Otherwise,